Flights across the Atlantic might be about to get slower and more expensive. Researchers found that a growing gap between polar and tropical temperatures is increasing the speed of the jet stream, the strong high-altitude wind that blows west to east across the ocean. This means flights from Europe to North America are about an hour shorter than those in the other direction. The study found that the jet stream will get 15% faster in the coming decades at current carbon emission rates. If so, flights to North America would be 4 minutes faster on average, while Europe-bound flights would be 5 minutes longer. Paul Williams, the atmospheric scientist at the University of Reading who conducted the study, told RFI's MikeWoods that these small changes add up in a big way.
When you add up those few minutes per flight for all of the 600 planes a day that cross the Atlantic Ocean, transatlantic aircraft will be in the air for an extra 2,000 hours every year. And this is going to add over $20 million to fuel costs for airlines, and it's also going to increase their CO2 emissions. So just because everything involved with aviation has a large multiplication effect, small changes per flight do add up.
Would this phenomenon be limited just to this part of the world, or is this a global concern?
The jet stream goes all the way around the world. It forms a loop. And in fact, there's another jet stream in the southern hemisphere as well. It's possible that these other flight routes will also be similarly affected, and that's something we really need to look into in a future study. These are interesting and unexpected, perhaps, consequences of climate change. It's not just in the bottom 2 meters of the atmosphere, which is where we live. The climate is changing right the way up into the atmosphere too.
Are there any recommendations that are coming out of the research?
There's nothing really that airlines can do to avoid these increases. Of course, the ultimate cause of all of these changes is the carbon dioxide emissions, and the science is telling us that in order to avoid dangerous levels of climate change, we should be cutting back on those emissions. So that's the underlying factor that needs to be addressed.
That was Paul Williams, the atmospheric scientist at the University of Reading, speaking to RFI's MikeWoods.